Hello guys and welcome back to the Twins Reviews channel. We're starting it a bit different today with the unboxing of the OnePlus 7 Pro. This is the T-Mobile, AT&T, and Verizon box. So something you get in the store, not off Amazon, but I can't imagine it being much different. If you do not want to watch the whole unboxing, please go ahead and skip to this time frame to get to the review. And if you want the short and concise answer on whether this phone is worth it, it is definitely worth it. It is a beast phone packed with a lot of features for a pretty reasonable price, I would say. So let's continue on with this unboxing. So right here, you get the phone, obviously, with the red box under it that has some information that we will look at later. You get that warp charge, a plug that enables you to do warp charge, and of course the infamous red USB wire that plugs into that to get some charging for your phone, obviously. So right here we will take a look in what the red box has to offer for us. I really respect the OnePlus packaging. It's very nice and very pleasing. Very user-friendly as well, and I love the red, very different from everyone. There's that case that you get, it's clear, and I really like it. And of course you get that OnePlus SIM card remover, the pin, which comes with all the OnePlus phones, and then some other information that you will probably not read, but you can go ahead and read that. So these are all the important ingredients in your OnePlus 7 Pro box. And I would just like to talk about the case a little bit, because obviously standard cases usually no one ever uses, but I love the OnePlus standard cases. They're clear, light, and do the job, so I will not be buying another case for my phone. I really like this one, and I'll be keeping it on. There's the sticker on the phone that you have to take off, so that's not a problem. And there's the volume up, volume down, power button, camera slot, and other things. So this is how the phone would look like with the case. It's very nice. It doesn't increase size or anything like that. But let's jump over to the review and the actual intro. Hey guys, welcome back to the normal intro. You're watching Twins Reviews, where we give our honest opinions about products. I tell the pros,
I tell the cons.
but first we gotta talk about the product. Let's go.
As always, if you want a more detailed description about the product we're reviewing, just check out our blog post on it down below. It goes more into detail about the OnePlus 7 Pro than in the video. However, in the video we're just going to use layman's terms to kind of talk about the product. We're not going to cover the Snapdragon or anything. Yeah.
So after using the OnePlus 7 Pro here, we got it on the table here. After using that for about a month or so, we would say we have a pretty decent idea of the phone. So the OnePlus 7 Pro is definitely the best OnePlus phone that OnePlus has put out on the market. Obviously compensated by its unusually high price for the OnePlus.
Yeah, so OnePlus usually always came out with phones that are a pretty good price for the quality of the phone, but this one's definitely one of the best. It's got some great camera quality, a really insane display, and then some nice battery life.
So the OnePlus 7 Pro is definitely one of the biggest phones on the market. I would say initially when I got it, I thought that I would never get used to the size, and I thought like, oh my gosh, how am I gonna operate this phone? But after a week or so, I got used to it very quickly, and I really have no problems operating it, so the size is perfectly fine in my opinion.
A few more things about the design of this product. So unfortunately it does not have a headphone jack, so you're kind of forced to use Bluetooth headphones or something wireless.
Unless of course you have an adapter, but that doesn't come with the
Yeah.
phone, so that's something to keep in mind here.
Yeah, so that's kind of a big minus. And then the audio, however, if you're not using headphones, it does come from both sides, which I guess is a positive, because you can flip the phone in whatever direction you want and like still hear the audio from both sides. It's equipped with a USB-C port for the charger, and yeah, there's also a spot for a SIM card, your usual stuff, and then the speakers, obviously.
So there's a power button on the side, as well as a ringer control right above that, and two volume buttons, volume up, volume down, on the other side, standard stuff. However, there is no external micro SD card slot in the SIM card slot, so you can't really expand your storage. However, fear not, because the OnePlus 7 Pro has at least 128 gigabytes of memory with at least 8 gigabytes of RAM, goes up to 256 gigabytes of memory with 12 gigabytes of RAM, which is a pretty unusual number if you're talking computers and stuff. But what I'm trying to say here, there's a couple versions of the phone ranging from a certain price range. I'll pop it on the screen right now. Basically, you can go from like the lower to the higher version. Obviously, the price is different. But even 128 gigabytes is a lot of memory, even if you like to use a lot of apps, save a lot of photos on your camera roll and then keep them there for any reason. 128 gigabytes will definitely do you fine, and it definitely does me fine. I have the higher up, not the 128, but it definitely is gonna be fine.
The display of the phone may be one of the best in the market. It's got a 90 Hz display, which means it's got like a really nice display, I guess. And also the response time of the phone's really nice. You can't see it on the camera footage obviously, but you can feel that it scrolls through Twitter and Instagram really quickly. It's really nice.
Very responsive, I would say.
Yeah, very fast, very fast. It's a fingerprint unlock as well. You can use that. You can opt not to, but there is an option to use a fingerprint unlock. So with the full screen display, you're able to watch the video from end to end of your phone with no distractions on the side. However, the curved screens, like, some people might like it. I don't really dig the curved screen. I don't know. I just can't seem to get used to it for some reason. However, they're not a big problem. Overall, the display is great, and OnePlus have been putting out many software updates to solve any issues that the phone's been having.
Yeah, personally for me, the curved screens are fine. I would say I don't really get distracted by them. They can get a little bit interesting when you get to like the corner and you're trying to unzoom your YouTube screen. It does get a little bit weird, but that's not really a problem. That's just a little thing you're gonna obviously get with curved screens.
So the biggest thing that's probably impressed me about this phone is definitely the battery life. I mean, this phone stays alive throughout the whole day. You can be on it the entire day and it'll probably last
and
you.
he's on the phone all the time.
Yeah, so like if you're watching like a stream, something on Twitch or whatever, wherever you're watching it for the whole day, like this phone will get you through the day really well. And even if you do get like to 30-25%, at some point you're gonna need to turn on the battery saver, or you're gonna feel like you need to turn it on. And the battery saver is even better. So the battery saver will last you, like, it's probably like 7 to 9 hours or something like that. It's crazy how much battery life this phone has.
And obviously this may differ with what features you have, like if you have Bluetooth or location on, or the transfer file thing that OnePlus is doing, kind of like AirDrop thing. It will affect the battery, obviously. That just kind of included in the whole battery thing. So you have to keep that in mind when talking about battery.
Besides that, the phone's also equipped with a warp charge.
What's that? I hear you asking.
And it's the fastest, most reliable method of charging something ever. And it's insanely fast. Like, I'm telling you, like, this phone, if you plug it in, and I swear in 5 minutes it charges like 10%. Like, it's even more. It's crazy fast. Like, I was super impressed with how fast this phone charges. It's insane. Like, wow, it's really insane.
And the warp charge is made possible by that little white plug that you plug into the wall, and then the USB plugs into that. So you can't get warp charge if you're just doing USB into like the computer or something. You have to use that white plug.
Yeah, and it's included in the box, by the way. Yeah, so.
However, that does come with a little minus that doesn't have wireless charging, but who needs that when you have the warp charge? So now let's end it off with the camera. There's a lot to talk about here. Obviously on the front of the phone you won't see any front-facing camera. That's because it pops up from the top. How cool is that? Obviously that comes with its little minuses. It's a little awkward. I thought it was gonna be awkward for it popping up every time, but the mechanism is tested by OnePlus. It has some crazy like weight thing, and basically it's not gonna get hurt or anything like that. When you drop the phone, it retracts automatically, so you're not gonna hurt it that way either. So it basically allows you to get that full phone display without having any of those crappy black bars that have to have the camera and the speaker and all that. So the camera is pretty good. That front-facing camera is, I think, a pretty good addition. On the front, the phone is equipped with a whole three cameras, which is probably overkill, and it honestly probably is. And but it gives you some really nice images that we'll talk about a little bit later, because there's also a flashlight right below those. I don't know if you guys use it on your phones, but I use the flashlight a lot, and one thing that OnePlus has is you draw a V to activate it with the phone being completely turned off. When we were in the Middle East, I did take some widescreen photos, 4K. I'll pop them on the screen right now. Take a look. Now all those photos are in 4K. They were shot in the widescreen aspect ratio, which isn't normal, which isn't a normal mode for pictures. But you can turn that to 4:3, which is the normal, and then you can also turn it to 1:1, which I don't think I'll ever use or you will ever use. But there's that option. You can also zoom the camera out from ×1 to ×0.6. It'll give you like a little fisheye effect, which isn't very noticeable, but it's there. That's usually for like landscape or something like that, but yeah, there's basically that option, and the quality is pretty great, I would say, for pictures. Yeah, so also there is the portrait mode, which everyone loves to abuse on Instagram to make yourself look like a photographer. So if you want to do that, you can. There's pretty good pictures, I would say, from personal experience. And there's also a nightscape mode, which is used for taking pictures in the dark.
Now the video on this phone is also pretty great. It gives you 4 options to record in. So you got 1080p, 1080p 60 FPS, 4K, and 4K 60 FPS. And honestly, that's pretty insane for the phone. That's pretty great. Very insane camera quality.
There is also a slow motion option that you have to kind of dig around to find. You have to slide up on the video bar, and you'll be able to find it, and it's pretty good too.
Yeah, so now one thing that I realized, and this is kind of a minus for me, but one thing that I realized is that whilst recording a video, you can't flip it from the front to the back like when you're recording. So I don't know, but you're able to do it on Snapchat, just not with regular video mode. So I don't know what's really going on there. It's kind of weird, kind of a minus for me, but yeah.
Yeah, for some reason the inbuilt camera, like the app, doesn't let you do that. I really don't know why. And also, when recording video, the image stabilization isn't top notch. Like, you can definitely see the movement, the steps when you're taking steps. Yeah. You can definitely see that. So I wasn't really impressed with the image stabilization. I know that the Google Pixel has a good image stabilization, and I believe most of the iPhones do too. I wasn't really too impressed with the image stabilization. That's for video.
Yeah, you're gonna need a tripod or something if you want to record like stable footage. To just sit on a tripod and record it.
Yeah, like or like a Gorilla Pod, or it's called a gimbal. Yeah, I don't know why that flew out of my head. It's called a gimbal.
Now for the pros and cons segment of this video.
Cue the transition. No, the actual transition. Alright, so for the pros, I'm just gonna go on a big rant so we don't go pro con, that takes forever. I'm just gonna go on a big rant of all the pros, and he's gonna go on a big rant of all the cons because he's just a negative person.
That's right.
But all the pros, I can definitely say you will be satisfied with the camera, obviously. I know there's a whole controversy with phones aren't made for cameras. You go buy a camera if you want a camera, but the camera is very good. Display is insane, very good, best on the market, I would say. Battery life is awesome. The warp charge is amazing. Also, let's see. I just had it on the tip of my tongue. Oh yeah. Storage is very important to a lot of people, especially everyone that likes to take photos of literally everything and store them in their little thing.
That's a video for a different time.
Really fast, really responsive. Just the whole experience with the phone is a pro in itself.
So yeah, I definitely agree with all the pros that he mentioned. However, I was able to still find some cons for this phone. First things first, the curved screen. I don't really dig the curved screen. I don't really understand why people like it, but I don't know, it just ain't for me. and then when you're in full screen mode, when you're watching, like you're on Twitch or on YouTube and you go into full screen mode, it sometimes cuts out the edges so you don't actually see everything, like it goes too much in, like it's too zoomed in. So I never really use the full screen mode. I just stick with the regular.
I do.
Yeah, I don't know, some people use it, but I don't really enjoy it. I don't really like it. Obviously has no wireless charging, as we mentioned earlier, and there's no headphone jack for this phone, which to me is a really big minus, because I absolutely hate wireless stuff. I don't like Bluetooth stuff. I don't like, they don't work as good as wires, so that was a huge minus for me. And there's no external SD card slot for this phone, obviously.
Besides that, did we miss anything? Like, do you guys have your opinions? Leave it all in the comments. Yep. We will be glad to read it, and we will try to respond to most of you, because we don't really get views. So we will respond to all of you, hopefully.
And then also make sure to check out our blog about this phone in the description. We have a website that we review different products. And then also you can purchase this phone if you want. We left a link in the description for the best price on Amazon where you can buy this phone. Make sure to purchase that if you feel like this phone would be good for you.
Yeah, and we also will leave the link to the headphone jack, charger, adapter thing if you are into that. It's pretty cheap. I believe it's like somewhere around the $12 range.
It's nice.
So you can go ahead and get that too on Amazon. Check it out. Check whatever. Links in the description. But other than that, guys, it was nice doing another review.
If you got any suggestions, please leave it in the comments, and then please like the video, give it a 2 thumbs up, and then subscribe and hit the little notification bell. So
don't hit the little notification bell.
Hit the notification bell so you don't miss an upload. Yeah, that's it. See ya.